What up, y'all? So, another one for the Mushroom Chronicles. Man, this isn't a good one for the Mushroom Chronicles. This is us getting got during the Mushroom Chronicles. Had a nasty infestation of flies, fungus gnats, man. So basically, we're going to talk about why this happened, or at least why I think this happened, and what I'm going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again, at least to the best of my abilities. Anyway, yeah, they got us. The fungus gnats. They're like, you ain't growing shit. Everything you're growing is mine. The nuts. Bees like that sometime. All right, let's go. So what we're gonna end up doing, Dante and I, what we're gonna do this. What's up, Dante? We're gonna actually take all these buckets out of here and add them to this, to just basically our rows, man, or our walkways. The fungus gnats will go away just because it's hot out here. They're not gonna be able to survive in here. So we'll go ahead and get rid of all of them. That way, at the same time, using our straw for our benefit. So we're not 100% lost, you know what I'm saying? Why did this happen? Or at least why do I think this happened? Well, two reasons. One, the first one's not really my fault. The second one more is my fault, or maybe they all are my fault. The seasons changed and we got a lot warmer in here. With that, it brought in nature. So a lot more flies, a lot more bugs came around. The fungus gnat, of course, I'm making the perfect condition for them, probably making the perfect housing for them in terms of the straw that we're using. The moisture content's perfect. I'm not exactly sure if the mycelium have anything to do with it, if it's something in which they can feed on. But nevertheless, I have to imagine that it helped out in the whole rigmarole. The biggest reasons as to why this is my fault, about 3 weeks ago, I came out here and I seen a bit of an infestation going on. So what I did was clear out the whole entire shed. The week before that, I did not clean, and I think that's when they actually got introduced into the shed. Now, what I should have done was got rid of every single bucket, kind of like what I'm doing now at that time. But unfortunately, what I did is I thought I'd be able to make this whole thing work by just getting rid of the most infected buckets, but it didn't work out that well. There's a little bit of infestation, or if there's a bucket that is infested, in fact, then yeah, you're just going to be infested because those bugs are now going to keep on transferring to different buckets and keep on laying eggs and babies, and ultimately you're going to get dealt with. So that's kind of what happened here. My plan is now go ahead. We're going to clear out all this mycelium. Yes, it does suck. Yeah, it does hurt. But this is part of the game. We're just gonna get rid of all of them and start over right now. We actually do have some going in the incubator right now, so we won't be that far behind. We'll be back in about a month. The ones that really suck are the ones that actually have the mushrooms. So tempting to keep those, so tempting. Yeah, those hurt, but they're full of freaking fungus gnats. I was actually able to save some of them, but a lot of them we weren't able to save. Now, this might be a major strike for the buckets. I'm not certain. I've actually heard of other mushroom farms having the same thing go down with wood blocks. So yeah, man, I just think it's, for the most part, I just think it's about keeping your succession right. What I did here as well is I was staggering my succession. So every week I'd be dropping new stuff in, and that's ultimately what I think kind of what led to my demise. Meaning every week a new bucket or a group of buckets would now have to sit there and colonize. That takes right about a month, which obviously is enough time for these fruit flies to actually colonize, you know, have their own their life cycle, man. There's enough time for them to actually have their life cycle in abundance, man. They're small. Most of the times those things pop really fast. I mean, I don't know the exact stats when it comes to fungus gnats, but things like aphids, things like that, dude, it only takes them like a matter of weeks, right? And they've got a whole plethora of aphids on your ass or on your crop. Kind of what's cracking right now. We're gonna get rid of all this stuff, and then we're gonna keep the successions going. Therefore, the cleans will be going all good, and we hopefully will not have to deal with this again. So basically, you guys, you can see we're kind of just keeping these to the walkways. One thing that I've heard is that a lot of the oyster mushroom actually restricts growth, so I don't want to put it on top of my rows. I did try that before, and believe it or not, everything grew. However, I didn't put down fresh seed. It was already from plant start. It was a bunch of kale and collard greens. Anyhow, those were established, and I didn't see any kind of hindrance within their growth, but I don't want to play around with it right now like that. So what I'm going to do is put all the mycelium down on the walkways where I don't want grass. All right, y'all. Well, those two in there, those were my wish, my dream. So they're coming with me. So we're going to put these guys in the garage. Eat these maybe. I don't know. I'll eat these tonight. These guys probably eat tomorrow. Nah, a couple of days. Yeah. Cool. It's all cleaned out. We're going to go ahead and just pretty much use our bleach solution and get rid of whatever nest of those fungus gnats might still be living in here, as well as whatever funkiness might be living in there as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and let it sit probably for the rest of this week, just to really make sure that, you know, we drove the message home, everything's gone and as cleared out as possible. And next week we'll go ahead and put some fresh buckets in there. Hopefully we will not be found until we are ready to harvest. Get rid of that buckets, or get rid of those flushes of buckets, and then put in some new ones. Right now too, I'm dealing with a lot of blue oysters as well as king oysters. It's like kind of like the last of what we had in incubation. So I'm only really going to, if I can at all, which I'm pretty certain we can, because I'm seeing some still fruiting, more than likely going to get like one, maybe two harvests out of it, or two flushes out of it. Really depends on the nature of the infestation at that point. Yeah, I'm hitting all kind of nests and plumes of nasty fungus gnats in here. Check this out, man. Oh, all those nasty flies there, that's gross. But then look at this too. That literally is just a week and a half of collection of mycelium. Look at that fan, hosed. And unfortunately, I don't think I can open that fan up like the other ones and clean all that off. So more than likely we'll be buying another fan here in the next couple weeks. But anyway, we're gonna get all this stuff bleached up, and it's gonna live to fight another day. Yesterday, gremlins got into the matrix and just destroyed everything. I don't know what the hell happened to the footage. Cameras are overheating, dying. It was just melee. It was just a mess. So anyway, I'm here to kind of wrap up that video. So basically what we ended up losing was me using my wet vac to clear this space out, put everything back together already. There's absolutely no water in there at all. Well, I'm just gonna let that thing dry out, man. And hopefully, if there is any lingering fungus gnats, they're just going to take off or just die. The way that I often look at it too, man, is a lot of times, even if the fungus gnats that we did bring out here were able to get back home, when they did get back home, all the mycelium or all the straw that they were now living in, or were living in, is now going to be gone. So they're not going to have any place to drop their eggs. And if they did drop their eggs in here, the chances of them surviving would be, you know, very low, seeing that there's absolutely no humidity at all. It's dry as hell in there. It's kind of planned for inside of the fruiting chamber. What we'll end up doing is next week, if not the week after. It really just depends on what happens in the incubator. As long as the majority of all of the mycelium jars are colonized, then we'll go ahead and colonize and throw them in here. I'm hoping that this is going to be enough to get rid of everything, and then of course keeping up a consistent cleaning schedule at least once, maybe even twice a week, now that I'm thinking about it, would really help out a lot. Another thing too that I'm going to start doing, why am I holding this door? You guys can call continuity on me? Call it, I don't care. Another thing that I'm going to end up doing more than likely this summer, which is kind of weird because it's something I probably should have been doing more in the winter, fall. So I might actually not do it this summer. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out, and hopefully we won't get in trouble here. But the goal is maybe go ahead and starting the buckets in the incubator, or building an outside incubator for the buckets. That way we can actually start them completely different, in a completely different setup away from here. So if anything gets inoculated with some kind of funk we don't want, or if anything just gets infested, a bucket gets infested, we can now just pull it out of the system real quick, and hopefully we won't be, you know, cross contaminating anything. It's kind of just thinking an old refrigerator, to be honest with you, like another reach-in refrigerator might be pretty cool. Yeah, that was one thing that I definitely wanted to get at, and we're going to circle. I'm kind of circling back at this point, but the wet vac, definitely want one of those. I don't think I said that in this video earlier. You definitely want to get yourself a wet vac if you plan on doing mushrooms in a fruiting chamber. Even if you're buying the bricks, of course, you still want to get a wet vac because of all the mycelium and all the just nasty that kind of just starts breeding inside of your fruiting chamber. You want to make sure that you got a way to get that out. Right now, man, it's being the next day. I don't see anything in there. There's nothing floating around. It's extremely dry. We'll hook everything else back up when we get ready to rock and roll. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm just going to go ahead and let this ride. We have a bunch more strains coming in here pretty soon as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. More of our tropical species are going to be coming in. And to be honest with you guys, this time around, if it doesn't work out for me, I'm just going to pull off the whole mushroom kick for the summer, and then join it again in the and then rejoin it again in the fall and going into the winter. That way I figure they want to grow at that time. It's easier for them to grow at that time, and that's when I want to grow them. So these tropical species are pretty much all I'm going to be growing in here through the hotter points of the summer, and when they give up or give out, we'll go ahead and just focus more so on the plot. So speaking of which, I'm getting ready to do another video on our drip irrigation system. But anyway, guys, I hope this one helped. I will be talking to you guys soon. Oh, yo, I've really been thinking about doing more lives, or doing lives, period, on YouTube, just a way to kick out a lot more content for you guys here, longer form content than what you might find on Instagram. So if you guys are into it, let me know. It'd be dope. We can just hang out, talk all kind of craziness, garden, you know how we do. Here you go.